Ho ho ho! Merry Christmas, guys! Welcome to the channel, Viper here. And yes, today it is Christmas Day. So some of you people may have got Stellaris or some new DLC for your Stellaris. Well, as of request, today's video is basically the first time you played Stellaris. So let's jump straight into it then, shall we? But before we do that, a quick word from our sponsor, the like button. So go down into the corner, give him a little slap and let him know that you like the content. Now, let's jump into a brand new game. So, when you first start playing Stellaris and the first time you load up the game, you're going to be like, what? Now, ignore all this stuff on the right, these are the DLCs. When you come on it, you're most likely, on your first gameplay, going to be playing it as the United Nations of Earth. Now, for this playthrough, and because it's been requested, I will do it with the United Nations of Earth, because it is pretty easy to do with these. I tend to use my own, like I've got 2 nations up here, I've got 3 nations up here actually, I've got one with that one. United Nations of Earth, this is the first one that most people will play on their first playthrough. Straight to it, reset to default. Let's quickly go down here and put on Iron Man. Iron Man is on. Now, for the purpose of this playthrough, and it's probably going to be your first playthrough, you're probably going to change some of these settings here. So, this is a bit of a jump in the ballpark for me because I don't know what your settings are going to be, but I'm going to make it pretty easy, really. It's going to be really easy, so this is for those who are never played Stellaris before, turned it on and thought, what the bloody hell do I do here? So this is for you. So to make it easier, we're just going to have two AI empires. We shall have no advanced ones. We'll keep 2 fallen. We'll put 1 marauder on. We'll keep the tech as 1. Now, new players will probably take the habitable worlds up. Now, I would suggest this. Now, I don't do this because obviously with habitats and roam worlds and all that later on, but because I'm doing this on this playthrough and you've probably not got any of the DLCs, I'm going to do it how I imagine you will do it on your first playthrough. Primitive civilizations I'll leave on 1. Crisis strength I'll leave on 1. Crisis type is random. Now, when you change these, it basically changes the whole game how it's going to play out. So I'm going to leave this like this as it is. I tend to take that up 25, take that up 25, take that to 2550. But just for this one playthrough, because it's just basic stuff, I'm going to explain it as though it is your first playthrough, so you'll be able to do it yourself. I'm going to... What is there? Well, what's that? Normal? What's the easiest? The easiest is that. So you'll probably do it on civilian, your first playthrough. Then maybe try on cadet. And then you'll probably go on to ensign. Now I'm going to do it on ensign, which is basically normal. The AI has no economy, scientific or advantages over the player. So basically, same playing field for everybody. So I'm going to put it on ensign. You can put it on whatever you want, but bear in mind, the higher the difficulty, the higher it's going to be. And if this is your first playthrough of Stellaris, I would highly not. I highly recommend, sorry. I would highly recommend that you do not put it on a higher difficulty than ensign on your first playthrough. I'm going to leave all these off, scaling, add modifiers, aggressive normal, empire random placement, no advanced neighbours, hyperlane density. Right, hyperlane density is how many lines come out from your solar system. You'll see it as soon as we get into the game. But hyperlane density is basically the way that the ships can go around the galaxy. They have to go down these hyperlanes, unless they use a gateways or FTL drive, sorry. And well, they just warp over the map. You'll understand that when we get later on into the game. I'll leave that on 2, guaranteed habitable worlds, because on your first playthrough you're probably going to be just planet spanning, I imagine. And we shall leave all these on as they are, because that's basically all I've done then in changing this game from default. All I've done is put Iron Man mode on, so the achievements are eligible. That means you cannot save the game at all. It will save when you come off the game, obviously, automatically save, and I think it saves every month. I think it saves once a month. It might be once a year, but you're not going to be able to control or delete task manager, quit. You're not going to be able to do that. It saves quite regularly. So let's get into it then. Oh, also I will say, if I was to change the galaxy size here, it will change mostly all your options as well, and it sets it up so it's not overwhelming on your map. Like say you have a small map and you have max players, it'll only get you go to a certain number anyway, but Yeah, on your first playthrough, I don't recommend anything more than what I've put on here. So let's jump straight into it then, shall we? Now, when you first come into the game, you will have the option to have a help in the corner, in the top right hand corner, right up here. Click begin, everyone gets this message. Depends who you've chosen at the beginning. Obviously, your first playthrough, you're most likely going to choose the United Nations of Earth because, well, we are Terran, aren't we? We're humans, so I imagine that's what you'll choose. Most likely you will anyway. As you come onto this screen here. Now, first of all, you'll get an outliner. A little guy will come up, not the outliner, sorry. You'll get a little guy come up here, your advisor telling you, like, helping that lot. For your first playthrough, I highly recommend that you have that on. Even if you have just tips only, it's really helpful. Now, let's jump straight into the game. First thing you're going to want to do is press this button down here and come out to your soul map. This is your system. That will change depending on however you've got it up. So, cartwheel, clustered, spiral, arm, ecliptical. Now, as you can see, you've got this map. Now, these lines here are your hyperlanes. These are, if I was to go from that system to that system, I can only get there from this system. Unless I have FTL drive. Well, jump drive, sorry. I call it FTL drive because it isn't it really, jump drive. So, we go from there to, you'll get like a line around you of the distance that you can go. It's pretty large, it'll be about, it'll be like 4 or 5 systems that you can go. That is your system view. So first things first, click on your science ship. When you've got on your science ship, go over to the next system. You see the system here, it's got 4 planets. Is that 4? It is 4, isn't it? 3, sorry. It's because I'm so far away from him, why not? 3. Right click and survey system. Now when you first played this, when I first started playing this game, you didn't have a scientist here and you had to click on him. But I'll explain that later. Well, I'll tell you that actually. If you click on your scientist, it will bring up your leaders panel. Now this is your governors for your systems, which is what you do when you're doing into sectors. A sector is your home system or whatever system, planet, sorry, that you've made as your sector. It goes 4 hyperlanes out. So if I was to make Solomon sector, which it obviously is because you start off with that sector, it'll be that one, this one, number 2, number 3, and then number 4. So it will go to there. So the sector is all the planets and systems and habitat, ring worlds, whatever you got in them systems will be governed by one governor. And obviously if you need to recruit, there will be a recruit button up here, but I'm in the scientist panel, that's why it doesn't show the other ones. So let's recruit a scientist. Now as you can see, I have these symbols here. These do help a lot depending on what you are trying to do. Now maniacal is not a bad one. I tried to usually get Spark of Genius and there's not one. There's an archaeological site one, that's quite a good one. If you've got ancient relics, that's not too, that would help later on if you've got the ancient relics pack. So that's the first thing you want to be doing. That's your spaceship. Now the second thing you want to be doing is going to your planet. Well, not 2 sectors actually. Go to your planet. Straight away, first thing you want to do is sprawling sums. Now you can see you need 200 power. Once I get rid of this sprawling sums, you will get 1 population. Now that 1 population is what makes you be able to build stuff. So, well, it's not like it makes you be able to build stuff. You need to get a certain amount of pops on your planet before you can upgrade your planetary administration, and then by upgrading your planetary administration, you will unlock more slots for you to build whatever you want in it. Now, with your capital, I highly recommend that you do research institutes, because research institute is not there at the minute, because I'm not researching, but your home planet has a bonus to science. So really, your main planet you just want to be making into a science planet. So Earth, yeah, science. Or if you're not Earth and you chose someone else other than the United Nations, because you could play as the Commonwealth of Man, your planet, your base of operations. Now, when you're on your planet, you can see at the bottom here, you've got your population. Now, you can change your jobs and put them up just by clicking on that. You can move your people around. So if you've got, like, let's say for example, you've built up all of these, and I've only got 2 slots, so ignore that in a minute. That means how many I can build. I can build 2 out of a possible 5, but the 3 that are blocked out are these in the planetary features. Once I clear them, these 3 will open, and then I can build another 3 on these districts, not on the buildings, on the districts. Now the districts are basically what power. This is basically what's going to keep all your minerals, food, consumer gloves, alloys, influence, unit, all your special stuff, which is like you'll need exotic gas to upgrade your research industries, and then because you'll get more research from them instead of 28. I think they start off with. They get to 56. I think it's 28 to start with. It would make sense as being 56 next, like, but anything else on left? Oh yes, and also you've got your armies here. Now your armies is basically once you build a stronghold. You can do it now if you want, but once you build a stronghold, you will create some armies anyway, and they'll fortify your planet. But when you want to go and invade people, that recruit button there is for armies to be recruited to go and invade planets with. Just so you know that. So when you do recruit armies, they will appear in orbit around the planet that you've made them from. So, in this case, if I was to make them from here, they would appear here in a ship. It would say transport. And that's your army, and then obviously you go to another planet and take them out. But we'll get on that when we get there. Now, that's your science ship done. Now, with your science ship, once you've explored this system, it'll tell you if these are habitable worlds, if you can, like, colonize them. One of them definitely will be, because they always are with the United Nations of Earth, sorry. They always are habitable world. So, I might even have 2 here. Probably not Bernard Star, because I'm sure that's a dwarf star. Right, but, I wasn't sure, right. Once that science ship, I'm not going to press play for a minute. Once that science ship has left this system, as you can see, 12 orders, that's going to survey every single one of them planets, and it will arrive in 98 days. Now, you may be daunting and think, 98 days? But once I press play, that will go pretty quick in the top right hand corner, sorry. Now, also with your science, you will come across anomalies and research, what's the other one? I can't remember the name of the other one. You'll come across 2 different things. One's anomalies and the other one's like a research thing you do. It will pop up. I tend to just start that straight away. But if you cancel that off, there will be an exclamation point on that planet. Or on that system, sorry. And you can either get to it through your situations log, which I'll explain later, or you can do it through your science ship. Just right click and it'll say like research projects in system, or research anomaly. Anomaly is the other one, sorry. Research anomaly in system. And basically, you go from system to system to system to system with your science ship, exploring your systems, making your area bigger by going out. Now, bear in mind that once you scan all these, you will have to go further and further and further afield. Now, a good tip for you starter players. Obviously, if you played this a few times, then this is not the video for you. This is for brand new players who never played the game before. You want to really make it so that you can block these. So I want to make it there. I want to make it there, say, probably, because it looks like it's going to go up here and down here. So if I can get that claimed, then I get my construction ship and right click, and it will allow me to build a starbase. Well, an outpost. It is a starbase, but you need to upgrade it. And by doing upgrading of that, once you've done it, I don't recommend you do this straight away. Only upgrade your starport on systems that you want it in, because this here is your starbase capacity. So going over this, you will incur penalties, and you don't want that to happen. But if you do want to make it your outpost to a starbase, as this one is in this case, because it's the Sol system, you just click on your starbase, and then, well, it won't say starbase, it'll stay, what's it say? It says outpost it'll say, and you just want to click upgrade. Now, I can't do that because I don't have Starhold technology. You need to be able to research that, but you will be able to build the first one. So let's say, for example, I've searched this system, and I've surveyed this system, surveyed this system, and I've surveyed this system. So then that will be like this still. It won't be blue or nothing because I've only surveyed it, I've not claimed it. You take your construction ship, you right click on this place, and then you will be allowed to build a starbase. Now you can just go straight to the next one here, but I would not advise that because it costs you twice as much to get to there to do one outpost as it does to get to there. So if you was to go build one there, outpost, and build one outpost there, it will cost you one outpost cost, but that one is not joined up, so it will cost, that will cost two times. I'm not too sure what it is at the beginning. I think I have bonuses on. I'm usually materialistic, so I don't really have it on, but it's like, basically it's like 50 odd or something. Once I get it down, I think it's 56 I get it down to, once I have my bonuses of influence. So as you can see, I get 3 a month. It will cost like 70 odd the first time you build an outpost. And basically, you get your construction ship, you go here, build outpost, and then that system will light up blue, like this system here. So then both systems will be owned by yourself. You will own that system then, and then you will be able to build with right click again in that system that you own, and then you will be able to build your mining stations or your research stations in whichever order you want. You could just click one, shift, right click on it again, so you just click, so let's say I do build research station, right click again, shift, hold shift in before you press it again, and then build mining stations, and it will queue, and then it will build 2 instead of having to build loads. I'll just cancel that. Now, another thing that you've noticed is these 3 symbols up here. This drop down bar, well, I'll say drop down bar, I call it drop down thing because they all drop down. These are your like notifications from Stellaris itself. This is basically telling me I need to equip science. So, science it is. I'm a maniacal scientist with 7%. So this has got a 7% bonus overall on how much extra he makes. So 2% is what they've all got, 2%. So you see, base, scientist skill, 2%. Scientist skill, 2%. And this one is maniacal, 5%. So that makes it 7. So as I said before, your scientist, click on it and you can change it. Now, I've not got the Unity at the minute. This stuff. Is it Unity to buy them? Yeah, it is. Once you've got enough Unity, you can buy one. But it does go up in price, the cost of them. So, when you are buying them, like as I've got 3 there now at the minute, you have to choose one of the 3 regardless. And then you can either get rid of them and get another one or whatever. But at the beginning of the game, you don't want to be wasting your Unity just getting these. You want to just stick with what you've got until you've got enough Unity. And then what I highly recommend is go to your shipyard, go over to shipyard at the bottom. Defences are these are platforms that you can build around your starport, and shipyard is where you build your ships, obviously. Now, I always build a science ship, and then when that's built, I'll recruit another scientist because I will have enough Unity then because of the months going over, and then I will start exploring more and more and more. And we'll go over that when I'll do more of the video, because we will do a complete playthrough with this so you can understand the aspects of how to play it, and basically to make it easy for yourself, so you're not going to put like 400 or 500 hours into the game before you know most of this stuff that I'm going to be going through with you. But that is basically the starting of what to do on Stellaris. The main thing that you, at the very beginning of the game, is go to your capital. If you've got enough energy, go to your features and get rid of sprawling sums, which will give you an extra pop. The more pops you've got, which goes up over time, the more you can build in these. Now, as you can see, these all give me different ones. You can't get rid of the first one. This is what you, when you got a colony ship and you go and colonize another planet, as soon as you colonize it, you'll get 1A in the first slot. That's your planetary administration. And as you can see, I'm not getting much of it at the minute. But once you've done loads of science and stuff, these are pretty OP. Because Stellaris is a game of, well, build up in it, really. It's build up. You start off with a few little resources like so, and then in the end, 100 years into it, when we're 100 years in, you'll see that these numbers are going to be massively impressive. They're all going to be yellow maxed out. I'm going to be selling stuff. It's going to be crazy later on. It's going to be crazy. It's all about snowballing. That's what it's all about, snowballing. Eventually, it's just going to be so overpowered. You're going to have so much space that it's, yeah, you'll see. Now, another thing I will say, now that you know how to do your science ship and to explore, scan systems or survey systems, once that system has been surveyed, you can then take your construction ship and build an star-based outpost. It's building an outpost, and then if you want the outpost to build ships, you need to go onto the outpost and upgrade it to a star base. Is it starport, the first one? Yeah, starport. Yeah, starport. So starport and starhold and so on and so on. Now your sciences, select your research. Research speed plus 5%, that's on everyone. That's on everyone. So that's amazing, we'll get that. And then we have another one. Now these are all good. but I'm going to go for Unity, because Unity is what you get your traditions with. We'll explain that in the next video, or if not in the next video, the one after that, because it is Christmas Day after all, and we have to do other stuff, but I do enjoy this. So what should we go for here? Well, it's got to be the engineering, isn't it? So we do the engineering. So at the minute, as you can see, 2%. We'll get some engineering research up by 20%. That's all of this engineering. Unity, 5% on your Unity. So you get an extra 5%. That's for your traditions and your, what do you call it, aspect? I can't remember what it's called. Ascendant aspects or something. I'll find. We'll see that when we get to it. And that's your scientist done. And as you can see, 86 months, 90 months, 80 months. That's a long time. But one more thing is, these are your districts. When you are building your districts, you want to be careful, because as you can see, if I build this, it's going to turn minerals into consumer goods. And one of these produces 9 consumer goods and 5 alloys. But it requires 12 minerals. So if I was to say build 2 of these, which I'm not going to because I've only got 2 slots, that means that I will be losing 24 of my 28 minerals. Now we don't want that, because your minerals are what are used to build on your planets and also your districts. That's mostly what they're used for. They're used for other stuff sometimes, but that's mostly what you use them for. So you don't want to be using your minerals like that. And also, I will tell you about this about Earth as well, is holdings. Now, I think you need the overload for this, because I can't do it, and that's the only one I need, overload. So overload, sorry, DLC. Later on, you'll be able to put holdings on if you have the overload DLC, where you can get a science thing and other little goodies that you can put in there on them holdings, so you can build stuff and make it even better. Now the blocks here on the side, as you can see, clearable blocker. That's because I can clear the sprawling sums, like I said, to get the extra pop. And the next one is the building slot. Now you will get other symbols. You get like a circle one saying like people are gonna looking for jobs. Is it? I think that's looking for jobs. And then there's a red one when there's no housing. Well, that's the basics of science ship, construction ship, and your earth building stuff. Now, I'm not going to go on too much more, because this will be enough for this one vid, just explaining the aspects of the science ship and the construction ship, and a little aspect about all the planets. In the next video, we shall press the play button, we shall progress on, we'll claim 2 systems, and we shall claim all these systems here. Unity influence is what you need to claim the systems. So we need to save some of that up if I'm going to want to claim every single one of these systems. Now Unity influence, it will go up depending on certain aspects within the game. It was good when you used to get it off factions, but now you don't get it off factions, you get Unity instead. But that should do for now, for the basics. It's not too much for you to get over complicated with stuff. Your science is up here, that's how much science is what you're making. I will go over this top bar before I do go, actually. So as you can see, you have all your resources and stuff here at the top. The power rate, obviously, is how much power all your stuff uses. Even if you have ships out on patrol and stuff, it goes up in that as well. So, your power, big un. Well, they're all big really, you need all of them, but try and stay on your power. Your power can get out of hand pretty quick. If you're on, like, say, 10 planets, and you click on this, and then you go up, so you click on this, and then you go to your planet somewhere, and then you build, say, 2 on there, 2 on there, 2 on there. Well, not 2 on that because you generate output. 2 on there, 2 on there, and 2 on there. Well, they're all going to require power. And if you do that for 10 planets, and you've only got like 80 energy coming in, you're going to notice there's going to be a big drop in that and into the red. And then it's like, oh my god, I've got to rebuild then. So when, like, if you're going to do like a load of buildings on some planets, you want to do like say 2 or 3 at a time, see what they're like when they come out. Unless you've played it a few times, you know what's going to happen, like, then obviously not. But yeah, just don't go mad building loads of stuff and then not realising that your stuff's going to change, because like I said before, it's a game about snowballing. Food, obviously, for people to eat. Consumer goods, this is used in quite a lot of stuff, like, really is. I'm not going to list them, but there's quite a few things that you turn consumer goods into other stuff, like science, for one, and the research institute, I think it is. I know the research labs does do it. Influence, this is what you get from obviously claiming. If you make a other species a rival, you will get an extra half of 1 point. Unit, this is basically for some edicts, like most of the stuff is some edicts as well, and it's also for your traditions. Now I've got none at the minute, but when we do get a tradition, I will explain that and how to go through that. Now your science is, at the minute you can see it's pretty terrible, but I do a rushed science build, so that will go up quite a lot in the next 2 or 3 videos. Well, I'm going to try and get 30,000 science. That's quite ambitious, I know, but that's what I tend to do every time. And then we have your special resources. These are used in like other buildings when you upgrade your buildings more, like exotic gases will be used with your research labs. I think the rare crystals is used with your mineral purification base. You can get more minerals and stuff from your mineral farms and that. And then the next one, important one, Empire Spall. This determines quite a lot of things really. So a lot of things this is determined by this. So you want to keep your eye on this because you will incur penalties if you like go over some stuff. I can't remember exactly what it is, but we'll go through that when we get to it because it'll dawn on me like. And then you have your envoys. So you see I've got none of 3. Now we will go over them in the next video as well. That's basically if I come across an alien species, I can try and communicate and decipher the language, and that'll use one, or the galactic intermarket, the galactic community market, or something like that, or even the Federation. Send an envoy there, get some favours. But that's more advanced stuff that we'll go on with later. This is, like I said, this is just basics getting started. Your empire population, this is the total of your empire on all planets and all species. We'll explain that in further in another video. Starbase capacity is obviously self-explanatory. Try not to go over this because you will incur big penalties for that. And then you have your naval capacity. This is how many ships you can hold, you can like control and command without incurring penalties for going over that as well. And as you can see at the bottom there, empire size 45 in red. So, see. And that's basically it for this video, guys. I don't think of anything else I need to do. I'll tell you what I will quickly do. If you do, like, now most of you are probably going to want to have a little play from me running, which I will be doing on the next video, but I recommend you check your policies first, because first thing you want to do is, you want to check your trade. Is it trade? I shouldn't say, no, it's not trade, it's economy. Economy, yeah. Your economic policy. So mine's on mixed. Now you could change that if you wanted to, but look, my alloys go down. Now, if you're not playing with Earth, United Nations of Earth, these will be different. This is just set like this because this is the nation that I chose, thinking that most people watching this video for their very first playthrough will be the United Nations of Earth. So have a quick look through here of what you want to set your your empire up as, because these all have different things. Know that they do, I mean. So don't just go willy-nilly clicking, because they will change. Like, quite some stuff does change quite a lot, especially when you like do like something and you're not realizing, then you change it and you look at your minerals like, where have my minerals gone, or where have my consumicals gone, or like you've got like quite a few edicts open and like you can't do them. That's edicts in it, so you got like loads of stuff open, like say, can I use this as a good example? So yeah, I did it really with the economic policy. Like if you start off on a militaristic policy, you can see you get less consumer goods, but you do get more allies. But at the beginning of the game, you don't want that. You do want them like basically normal. I do tend to sometimes do that if I have quite a lot of alloys coming in, but you need alloys to build ships, and I build science ships and construction ships at the beginning, so we can expand, just like Star Trek. So yeah, that's it for this video then, guys. I hope everyone has had a very nice Christmas, as it is the 25th of December 2022. Wish you all a very Merry Christmas, and thank you for watching the video. Now the next video we shall progress on, probably do 5 years, quick space through it. Now if you do want to go on and have a little play on it, you go and do it, there's no harm. But if you are on Iron Man mode like me, you will not be able to load up your game. So if you want to play along with me as we're playing it, you're more than welcome. I'm going to probably try and upload 3 or 4 videos a day to try and get this one series of Let's Play out there, so you can all understand and get into Stellaris. Like, it's a fantastic game. Like,
The only thing that is different, actually I forgot to mention, is this, the outliner. Now I have on tiny outliner, because if I didn't have tiny outliner mod on, this is horrendous. Like, you can imagine, Earth, if I didn't have tiny outliner, right, Earth, that Earth, just Earth, it would probably be to about science ship, just Earth alone. And when you've got loads of them, and you've got to go through all of them in your mouse, oh mate, yeah, no, it's terrible. So, any mod, tiny outliner is definitely one, and it will work with your Iron Man mode, so you can get your achievements as well. Well then guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all in the next video, and we can continue on and hopefully take over the rest of the galaxy. Thanks again guys, have a nice Christmas, and I shall speak to you all soon. This is Viper signing out.